But Dinah was warm and ordinary, almost nostalgic. Americana coffee steaming, forks clinking, soft country radio playing. Then everything shattered. The town's powerful sheriff, arrogant and entitled, used to unchecked authority, publicly humiliated an elderly black woman after accusing her of causing trouble. Without warning, he slapped her across the face. The entire Dinah went silent. He embodied corrupt small-town power, while she remained dignified, soft-spoken, deeply respectful, someone who had endured worse and survived. She didn't scream, she didn't cry, she straightened her coat. What the sheriff didn't know was that someone very dangerous had just been notified. Zooming out, the county's power structure became clear. The sheriff had ruled here for years. People feared him. Business owners depended on him. Complaints disappeared. Diners averted their eyes. One waitress trembled. A teenage boy secretly recorded the moment on his phone. The elderly woman quietly said, "I've lived through men worse than you." That line landed heavy. The video was uploaded and began to circulate. Her name was Mrs. Carter, respected, church-going, grandmotherly. She had no criminal history, no disturbance. The sheriff had overreacted simply because she challenged his tone. The town thought it was over, but the video had already left the county, traveling thousands of miles to a place where men trained for war, and a phone began to vibrate. Her son Marcus Carter entered the frame, calm, controlled, decorated a Navy SEAL with multiple deployments. He didn't boast, he didn't posture, he served. While the sheriff bullied civilians, Marcus protected nations. He received the video in a team locker room, watched it once, then again. His jaw tightened, but he didn't explode. His mother had raised him with discipline, restraint, dignity. Now she was the one humiliated. He didn't call the sheriff, he called someone much higher. Meanwhile, the sheriff laughed about the incident at the local bar, claiming she needed to learn respect. But the video spread. Twitter erupted, veterans commented. Civil rights activists tagged officials. The sheriff believed power was a badge. Marcus knew real power was accountability. Quiet phone calls were made, not threats, not revenge, but lawful escalation through internal affairs, state oversight, and military legal channels. The sheriff still didn't know who he had just touched. By morning, his quiet county would no longer feel quiet. The video exploded nationally. Cable news clips aired, hashtags trended, veterans groups demanded answers. Social media scrolled with comments. Who is this sheriff? Fire him, press charges? The Dinah became a symbol. Reporters arrived. Satellite vans parked outside. The sheriff doubled down publicly, claiming he felt threatened. That lie fueled the fire. Mrs. Carter refused interviews, saying, "I don't need revenge, I need dignity." That line became a headline. Then a reporter uncovered something about the sheriff's past. Old complaints resurfaced. Prior excessive force cases, dismissed civilian reports, former deputies speaking anonymously. The sheriff's image began to crack. Marcus remained silent publicly, while the sheriff ranted into microphones. Tension built. Would Marcus confront him? Would there be retaliation? Would it turn violent? Instead, discipline prevailed. A formal federal inquiry was announced, and the sheriff finally learned exactly who Mrs. Carter's son was. A private closed-door meeting was arranged at county offices. The sheriff expected intimidation. Instead, Marcus entered calm and composed, in civilian attire. No yelling, no threats. He placed the video on the table and said, "You struck my mother. Now the whole country is watching what happens next." The power dynamic shifted. For the first time, the sheriff looked small. But Marcus wasn't there for revenge, he was there for something worse. Accountability. The investigation accelerated. The sheriff was placed on administrative leave. County commissioners were pressured. Body cam footage was reviewed. Public protests remained peaceful. Marcus spoke publicly for the first time. "This isn't about me. It's about the badge meaning something." That quote spread nationally. The sheriff's allies distanced themselves. His arrogance faded into desperation. And then the final decision was announced. The sheriff resigned, pending formal charges. As a federal civil rights investigation continued, with the Dinah reopened quietly, the hum of normal life slowly returning, Mrs. Carter stepped through the door, settling into the same booth she had occupied the day of the slap. The waitress approached, hugging her with genuine relief. Around them, life moved on, but the air was charged with a sense of restored dignity. Marcus stood outside, watching silently, not seeking applause, not wanting attention. He simply turned to his mother and said, "You taught me strength isn't loud." Those words carried the weight of every lesson she had instilled: restraint, integrity, and courage. The story rippled nationwide. Power without character had collapsed. Authority without integrity proved fragile. The real strength wasn't the slap. It wasn't even the Navy SEAL. It was the restraint. It was dignity. It was the refusal to become what you're fighting. Across the country, people began to reflect. Badges could command authority, but they could never outrank conscience, decency, or the Constitution. and no act of hatred went unseen forever. In quiet moments, one simple truth settled in, he thought. He slapped a powerless woman, but he had no idea he struck the conscience of a nation.